Hello everyone, welcome to another evil Plotcast. Today I am joined by Jarek.
Hi, hello.
LordInfinity.
Hello.
Loki.
Hello there.
And the absent friend.
Howdy ho.
Today is a very important episode of the podcast because we will be discussing the problems with the wordings and the rulings of the cards in the new expansions. So ever since Ravensburger took over from Prospero Hall in designing the game, we've gotten a different system for wording the cards. And by different, I mean that it's very inconsistent. And it's gotten to the point where there are so many cards that are not clear, or maybe they change the wordings in a way that affects how you think conditions are played. And sometimes the cards are worded in such a way that you don't even know how to play it. You are unsure of the normal interactions, maybe some special cases are incredibly unclear, and sometimes the cards are written in a way that is very intentional, but it's not obvious that it is. For example, we're gonna be talking mainly about the newest, one of the newest boxes, which is Success at Any Cost. Especially with Ernesto de la Cruz. He has a brand new type of card, which is Seize Your Moment, which instead of defeating a hero, it discards it. So now that I have it on screen, you guys can read it. And Jarek, can you read the card?
Yeah, I can.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
No, read it out loud. I mean.
Oh, okay. Yeah, seize your moment. Discard an ally from Ernesto de la Cruz's location. You may discard any heroes at that location. You flip one photo card for each hero discarded.
So for context, Ernesto needs to flip 6 photo cards face down. So this is a very helpful card. When you guys read this card for the first time, did you notice it said discard instead of defeat?
Yes.
Yes.
I actually did, yeah. It was like, you gotta get rid of this one ally in order to get this. It's like tit for tat in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course. But did you guys notice immediately that it was important in this other card that I'm gonna spawn in? Family Blessings. Can you read that card?
Yes. Family Blessing. When Family Blessing is played, you attach it to a hero until that hero is defeated. Ernesto cannot flip photo cards face down.
So when you guys play a hero, you can attach Family Blessings to it later on.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys know that initially? Did you guys know that you cannot use Seize Your Moment to discard that hero?
Honestly, like for the first time, we did when was playing this character around with Ernesto around. I definitely realized that we had a lot of like clarifications with this, that Seize Your Moment will not be able to work with a hero attached to Family Blessing, so you would have to defeat that hero first before this would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So Seize Your Moment will not work with a hero without Family Blessing at all.
Yeah, that is because Family Blessings asks you to defeat that hero, and Seize Your Moment discards it.
Yeah.
However, Family Blessings is worded in such a way that when the game was just released, people thought that if you discarded that hero with family blessings using Seize Your Moment, maybe you got into a soft lock because family blessing does not say that you cannot discard that hero. It only says that until that hero is defeated, you cannot flip cards. So some people thought that maybe you can discard that hero, but you're soft locked because you didn't defeat it, so you cannot flip 4 cards face down. That was obviously a very weird interpretation, and now we know it's wrong. Still, if you're not paying attention, you may not notice that Seize Your Moment discards heroes, and Family Blessings ask you to defeat them.
That's a lot of wording to really, that people always like overlook. It's like, oh, discard an ally. Oh, you're using this to vanquish a hero. Nope. That means you're taking a hero, you're taking an ally that you have off the board.
I'd say part of the confusion as well is, though it doesn't say you can, it says he has to be defeated to be able to flip cards. What if I just want to discard it and don't care about flipping cards?
That is true. Another interpretation was that maybe when you discard that hero, which is your moment, Family Blessings still stops you from flipping a photo card, but afterwards you can play another card and start flipping the photos. It wasn't until Lord of the Plains and I believe Dark Joker went to Gen Con and asked Mike Mulvihill, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong because sometimes I forget, he's the lead designer for Villainous.
Yes.
So they asked Mike whether...
Yes, he has been the lead designer since the original box came out.
Interesting.
Yep.
So he's an OG designer. Well, they asked Mike if it was true that Seize Your Moment cannot discard the hero with Family Blessings, and he confirmed that, yeah, you cannot use Seize Your Moment to discard it. You have to defeat it in a vanquish action. So that was all fine and good. However, later on, user Avery, which was in the last podcast, emailed Mike directly and asked for a couple of clarifications for Family Blessings. And one of them was asking if, for example, Family Blessing was attached to Miguel Rivera, and then Ernesto played I Have a Great Grandson. Jarek, can you read the card?
3-cost card. I have a great grandson. When you play, you find Miguel and play him to Ernesto de la Cruz's location. Because if the blessing's not on there, then you would flip a photo, obviously for Miguel's ability.
But in the email response that Avery got, Mike said that you do not discard Family Blessings, that you instead move that hero along with Family Blessing to the location you want, no? Or the location the card says. Contradicting the rule book.
Note that was clarified in the rulings area recently too, that Mike was wrong, and the book as written, so when you replay and find something, you still discard the item.
Yeah, of course. We actually got 2 separate emails saying the same thing, that you do not discard Family Blessing. It wasn't until, I believe, LordofthePlains asked Mike again directly that he said, oh, it was my mistake. You do have to discard Family Blessing.
I would like to clarify, I did not ask him. He messaged me directly to spread the word. So, because of everybody talking to him and the amount of emails he was getting, he sent me the task to spread it out.
That's actually really interesting.
So yeah, that's pretty much the latest drama. However, we still have so many more cards that are not clear. I'm gonna bring out another card from Ernesto Lacruz, which is...
While we're still on this one, if you notice that it says you cannot flip photo cards face down. However, if you play Seers Your Moment with Family Blessing still out and you discard heroes, you will have to flip photo cards face up.
Yes, that is correct.
You have no option in that. So you can't use it just to kind of get rid of heroes, even though you're like, I can't flip photo cards face down, but I can get rid of these bothersome heroes. If you do that, you're going to have to flip photo cards face up if Family Blessing is still out there.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So here I'm gonna show you guys the card Escape Plan. Could you read it?
Yeah. Escape plan. Fate effect. You may move a hero to a new location or move an ally out of this location. It's one of the weirdest things, but you can only do one of those actions on the fate card. One of those abilities.
Yeah, this fate card is written horribly. There are some cards that are very similar to this. What this card does is too much. You may move a hero or you may move an ally. That's it. But for some reason, it says you may move a hero to a new location. That's alright. Or move an ally out of this location. What do you mean this location? What? This effect is not in the realm. It's not on that location.
What location did you choose?
Would you like
Yes,
clarification
exactly.
as to why the card is that way?
If you can.
So, it was originally supposed to be another hero, but during the playtesting, it was changed, and we had submitted all the suggestions, but I'm not sure where it went wrong or what happened, but I think it just got lost in translation, so the image and everything was changed along with the name, but not the actual text. But the original, if I remember correctly, the original text was a little bit different, but it was supposed to be something completely else.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So we have an example of a card being completely changed from a hero to an effect, and the card text does not fit as a result, and it just makes it confusing. Because one of the interpretations early on was that there was a typo, that instead of saying move a hero to a new location or move an ally out of this location, that it was meant to say you may move a hero to a new location and move an ally out of this location. Meaning you move a hero, and then if there's an ally at that new location, then you can move that ally out of there. That was one of the interpretations. And I got disconnected from tabletop.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah,
Same.
but I kind of see like where the confusion of that is, where it's just like, okay, that's the typo. People are like, okay, yeah, I see that. That's different, you know. No big deal or anything like that. But there's so much that that was not explained in that. And again, it's all within lettering. It's all within what was supposed to be said, what was supposed to be, explained to people.
Exactly.
Correct, yep.
And it's very annoying because there are tons of examples of cards that are written just wrong enough that you get confused. For example, the absent friend uploaded a solo playthrough of Prince Hans, and I don't have the card right here, but he played the card Sorcery.
Yep.
And that card says, collect 4 Frozen Ring tokens and place them on any actions. And that card also confused me a bit when it first came out, because all the other cards that place Frozen Ring tokens only say that you place them directly. It doesn't say anything about collecting them. So when you read this other card that you have to collect the Frozen Ring, I thought it was gonna be something like Cruella de Vil, that you first have to place a puppy on the ram and then you capture it. So 2 steps, right? So I thought, okay, maybe you need to collect the frozen rings before you can place them, right? So
Yeah. What I got out of it was you collect 4 frozen ring tokens. It doesn't say where you collect them from. So just based on the wording of the card, you could technically take frozen ring tokens off of other places and move them if you wanted to. So that way you could have 4 in your hand and then just put them back. It's
That's
kind
also
of
an interpretation,
an
huh?
extra step, but that's how I interpreted it.
yes, that was also another interpretation. But it turns out that every single one of those cards, even though some say place a frozen ring, put a frozen ring, collect a frozen ring, they all mean the same. Just grab it from the supply and place them on the realm. You cannot move them around.
Wait,
Want me to pull in Hans for you real quick?
What is it?
Don't mean to pull in Hans' stuff so you can show the viewers.
No, the viewers are not gonna see this because this is a podcast. This is just to help us.
So, with that being said, does that mean that if there are not 4 frozen ring tokens to collect from the supply, you can't play that card?
Well, the only reason that
Because it
would
never
happen
says,
is
it
when...
doesn't say to collect it from the supply. It says
That's
just
true.
collect them.
Uh-huh.
It's not like Cruella de Vil that specifically says take puppies from the supply.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I look at like a sorcery like that, I just read it as collect 4 rings and place them on any actions. I just always read it like that. So
Yeah. And I know there's something about if you have more ring tokens to put down than actions left on the board, then which I don't see how it's possible because there's only 16 frozen ring tokens, but whatever. It says that you have to you don't get to place the remaining ones after you flip the board over. They are just wasted.
Yeah, that's also a very important point. In the guidebook, the guide, I believe, it says that when you flip your realm to the frozen side, that happens when every action has a frozen ring. You flip the realm, you get rid of all the frozen rings, then you place 2 on every location, and then your turn ends.
Right,
So,
immediately.
So
it's in the guide. Yep.
So when people started playing, some people were asking, okay, if I play this card that lets me place 4 frozen rings, but after I place the first one, the board is frozen, do I get to place the remaining 3? Well, some people clarified that no, you cannot, because your turn ends. And that makes sense. That maybe it's not explicitly stated on the guide, but it makes sense.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense to me.
However, you can place frozen ring tokens with don't feel, which is a condition.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
So let's say
your turn
place
is
the first-
over, it goes to another turn, and there you go.
Notably, they have place frozen ring tokens, they have collect frozen ring tokens, and then they have add frozen ring tokens.
I think it's just somebody playing too much with their thesaurus.
Yes.
Take that as you will.
Okay, here we have don't feel. During their turn, if another player has an ally at their location, you may play don't feel. You may play 2 frozen ring tokens on any actions. So let's say you place the first one, then you freeze the ram, so you flip the board. Do you get to place the other frozen ring token? Because your turn
I don't think so.
doesn't end, right? So
No,
it
I
doesn't
don't
affect the clarification that we used on the other cards doesn't apply here, right?
I don't think so, because the thing is, like, when you the condition of don't feel triggers if you're going to immediately freeze the board as Hans, then you're probably not going to get the other bonus ring.
Right.
Yeah.
As soon as you're as soon as you freeze the board, it flips over. You put everything back. You put your two freeze ring tokens out. It's over, whether it's your turn or not.
Yeah, it should be over, right? But the guide does not say so. It only says that your turn ends. So this is a special case where we have to go to the Discord, go to Board Game Geek, go whatever, and ask someone to say, hey, do I get to place the other frozen ring?
Right.
And someone, I believe it was a playtester, I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
But they said that,
it's
yeah,
Lord of the
you
Plains.
don't get to place the other frozen ring once the board flips. But are we sure? Because as we just discussed, we had a bunch of questions with Family Blessings, and we went back and forth with a ruling, and eventually it seems like it's settled now. But we don't feel...
well, we thought it was settled the first time.
If you play sorcery when you only have 2 rings remaining, you do not get to place the additional 2. If you play Don't Feel, and there's only 1 left, and you play Don't Feel, so it's not during your turn, but you are flipping the realm. But regardless, once you flip the realm, you place the additional ring tokens on each location. You still can't place that 1 because you're not ending your turn. Your turn's already ended, so you can't use that additional 1 to be placed on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't be allowed to get the bonus range when you freeze the board.
Right. Yeah. I mean that one's a little bit easier to kind of interpret from the wording. It's not as vague as some of these others.
Yeah, and honestly, I understand everybody has different opinions on like collect, place, gain, whatever it may be. But in retrospect, it all means the same thing. But you also have to think about, like when you're playtesting, wording and like stylistic choices. But a lot of people don't realize like we could literally submit a whole card with like 30 words and we get it back and they only accept 15 words, right? So sometimes it's at the mercy of whoever's approving everything. Because you think about this, let's take Frozen, right? A huge entity in the Disney realm, right? Well, Disney is so massive and Frozen is so massive that they have to contract it out like to 1,000 different places. Like you have theme parks, you have merchandise, you have this and that, you have board games and whatever. So you have to think that you have to submit it to like a bunch of different places. And if one of them says no, then you're, out of luck. So
I have a feeling that. Oh, go ahead.
But I completely understand where everyone's coming from, and trust me, I have my own frustrations with it. But a lot of people don't think about how many things it has to go through to get approved, or how many times it has to get changed.
Right. That's why I had this theory, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on, and we haven't talked about the Sanderson sisters yet, which I'm sure we will. But I noticed that on the card about Dance, 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 something tells me that doing a song title that's probably heavily trademarked would be a lot more troublesome than just saying Dance, 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 which is not trademarked.
Yep. And I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to break any like rules or anything, but you can probably see why, like, let's say Billy's not in there, right? You can.
Well, now that one I didn't understand. What's the deal with him?
I mean, you just said it. Trademarks and trademarking rules and stuff. So, like, you know how, like, in Count Dooku, they use Christopher Lee's likeness for Dooku, right? Well,
it was
for Davy
Clone Wars likeness.
Right. For Davy Jones, though, you have to get approval from the actors or the people that created it, and so sometimes things just don't get approved or don't get.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I've noticed that with both of the live action ones we've gotten, the art is immaculate art. I absolutely love it, but it's definitely so far removed from the physical characters that they won't have to worry about paying royalties to the likenesses.
Yeah, and if you remember, Disney did their Hocus, Ravensburger did their own Hocus Pocus game years ago, and obviously, stuff happened or things were approved or not approved. So you just as much as like Bare Necessities is one of a card that I wanted to be titled, but. It's probably one of the more trademark
song. Yeah,
exactly.
But they got Let It Go, which is fascinating.
That is true.
They got what they got out of the Frozen. They got two different song titles and several different song lyrics. But I guess it's a balancing act. You get some, you lose some. But I was saddened, and I've said this before, about not having a Billy card because I thought that was very, very important. And if they couldn't call it Billy, they could call it something else. And then not to have the brooms, that was, I thought, a mistake. But again, I'm sure there were reasons behind it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. I kind of want to point out, I'm sorry if I'm cutting everybody off, but I kind of want to point out that even though I love how they did the live action expansions and all that, I'm like a sucker for that. I mean, it's like they had to go to like a direct source and be like, okay, how are we going to make this as like a character for Davy Jones? Because Davy Jones was literally like Bill Nighy dressed in this CG outfit, and like they just painted like his eyes and his mouth, and then everything else was CGI'd in to make it look seamless. So like, how are we going to do a characterization of that? And then the Sanderson sisters, like that's characterization of its own because each and every single one of them have specific features.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, how are we going to use this?
I don't want
to. Within the guidelines of trademarking and, being within Disney's approval and Ravensburger's, just saying, okay, we know how to do this. We don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Right.
So I think it's a lot on the lines of like, how are we going to name these cards and these actions without getting stricken with copyright or whatever it is?
Right. That's one thing I would love to talk with one of the designers about, how they get, what permissions do they get, who do they speak to, and what can they say, and what can they do and not do. Like the people who make Kingdom Hearts have to deal with Disney, and Disney is very strict about what they can use and what they can't use, but they're also very upfront about it too. So I've dealt with Disney myself and Disney Legal, and while they are very strict, they are also very upfront, which I appreciate.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Here's a fun fact. If you noticed with Francis and Eric, they are looking sideways with their crossbows pointed away from like if you're looking at the camera, obviously it's facing you, right? Well, Disney is also family friendly, so they don't want swords or crossbows facing right at you, right? So
that's an old thing. Batman
exactly.
Had the same problem. Yeah,
exactly. So it's just like sometimes certain card art is the way, and that means sometimes it is the way it is. So.
Yeah.
It's interesting. That's also probably the reason. The copyright is also probably the reason why with Lotso we got so few heroes. For example, we don't have Barbie, which was a major character in the movie. We don't have Mr. Potato Head.
You didn't get any of the trademark toys. You got all the original toys that were just made for the movie.
Yeah.
That's issues with a lot of characters sometimes, with Lotso and the Sandersons and Davy Jones and probably Eddie. Yeah, pretty much about it. So
a lot of other Disney villains. Yeah, and again, it goes back to what can we use, what can we not use, and what can Disney approve, what Disney can't approve. And so that's the same thing with like Disney when they collab with Square Enix for Kingdom Hearts. It's like, okay, what can we do in order for this to be approved, and what can we not do, so that way we don't have to take any legal action.
Yep. And then you also have to think about Kingdom Hearts is a massive entity versus Villainous, which is, I mean, it's still a good chunk, but it's not nearly as profitable as like Kingdom Hearts would be. So you'll have areas where you get more leniency for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yes. So we know the reasons why some of the cards may not be edited in time for the release of the new expansions. But still, this is a product that Ravensburger and Disney are selling us, and they're selling us a game that we open it up, we want to play, and then instead of playing, we have to ask questions. Hey, how does this card work? What does this card mean? Okay, what does collecting Frozen Ring tokens mean? I have so many questions when playing the game, and some of them are fundamental to their gameplay. That even though one can understand that it's hard for designing a board game is hard, it's still a product, and you're still selling it to everyone else. So we still have to ask for consistency and also quality.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody remember the Oogie Boogie fiasco with the which card was it? The
It was
Distraction.
it was one of the fake cards. Distraction, yeah, that said if you got it early, like I did, it had hero, or if you move it to a place with a hero, then you can discard a hero from that location or item. And I didn't question it. I was like, that's what it says. That's what I'm gonna do. Lo and behold, I find out later that it's actually a misprint and it's supposed to be an ally instead of a hero, which I was like, well, that does make more sense, but that would have been nice to know before I developed strategies and all that other stuff.
Uh-huh.
The first time, like when I got the Boogie Oogie expansion, I was like, "Oh yeah, that card's misprinted, definitely."
Yeah.
I just saw it. I was just like, nope, that was right there. Yep. How are you?
Yeah.
Why would you discard a hero? Like, what's the point of that? Yeah.
You
It's
know what this
interesting.
makes me?
When I went to Gen Con, I did a couple of games. It was just the original Worst Takes It All box, but I was playing with other people, some experienced, some not. That was the first time I saw a misprint for Queen of Hearts. The left location, the 2 power, there was nothing on there. And I've seen it like via pictures from everyone, but I've never seen it in person. So I was just like, oh, that's very interesting.
That's insane.
The reason why I didn't question that distraction card is because it said you may discard a hero or item from that hero's location. I thought that's how you discard Jack.
Nope. Oh, that would have been so overpowered.
I know, but that's why I thought that's the one card that's how you're going to reset everything and get back going again. So I just thought, well, that's the OP card of this deck. So,
But nope.
nope.
So, you know what that kind of makes me wonder? Is with these 3 newer villains, because like with Gaston and with Oogie, they both had big enough misprints that they literally would let if you talk to customer service, they would send you the reprints, right?
Okay, yeah, nice.
But with these 3 new villains, I wonder if with some of the discrepancies we're discovering now, if they are actual misprints, but they're not going to admit it.
I don't know, because
I'm guessing.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm guessing that if they notice like beforehand, before they were like testing, so we're like, oh, yep, we see some misprints or we see some wording that doesn't make sense or anything like that. We need to fix it. And, like if they know it beforehand, then like that's okay for them to kind of go back and see that all there. But if they pick up on those misprints and they have to like send something out to people and just say, this is what they actually mean and all that before they like release it fully, like you get that pre-order of a game, then like that's already going to cause so much confusion to everybody playing, because then you'll be like, wait, what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
Yes,
And someone's bringing up Maurice's invention, and that's what I was thinking about with Gaston.
That's another example of a misprint. Maurice's invention originally had 4 strength on the card, and it was very confusing for players, especially because this card, Maurice's invention, even the reprinted one, the new one, could you read it, Jarek?
Yeah. So the invention is an item. So, a fate item, obviously. Apparently, you're supposed to attach it to a hero, once you attach to that hero, all allies at that location as Barissa's Invention would lose a strength, but that's about it. So, because originally when I got the DP box as well, I knew I saw the 4 strength on the invention, and then I was like, I thought this was a hero before, and I was like, ew, that's an item. Why would an item cover like actions just like the slippers for Lady Tremaine? Because that doesn't apply to that. But once
I kind of. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. But it's like the how do I pronounce this? It's more like a crazy like way that I saw, and I was like, that was pretty odd for a misprint at the time.
I thought, when we got the slippers, because I don't think before that box we ever had items to cover locations. It was only heroes that did that, and the items would attach to them.
Yes.
Right? I don't think we've ever had items as action coverers until that box. So when I saw that, I was like, well, that's kind of weird, but maybe that's what it does. And then Lady Tremaine also had that with the slippers, and I thought, okay, well, then now they're going this route with it. So I never really questioned it, and I thought if you wanted to get rid of the invention, you had to defeat it like a hero with the 4 strength. Or, and I thought, this thing kind of had a life of its own in the movie anyway. So I thought that's kind of what they were going for, is that, this thing kind of acts by itself, sort of.
Yes.
So, yeah. How wrong we were.
But let me read what the card actually says. Maurice's invention. All allies in the same location as Maurice's invention, Maurice, lose 1 strength. Mm-hmm. It doesn't say that you attach the item to a hero. Yeah. And because this is the same box that got us the glass slippers, which are played to a location, then anyone that isn't online is gonna think, this item probably works the same as the slippers, especially if they had the 4 strength version. Mm-hmm. So they fixed the strength on the card, but they did not fix the text. If you play it by attaching it to a hero, you are not playing it as the card says it is played.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is a problem because similar to this, there are several cards in that expansion and from afterwards where they will just not say everything that the card does. And you sort of have to guess. And for example, now with Introduction to Evil, some of the cards are pretty much the same. But one example that they changed the card, but not how it works. And that is Sword of Truth. I'm not gonna spawn it in here because there's a glitch on my Tabletop Simulator. But pretty much, Sword of Truth, you attach it to a hero, the hero gets +2 strength. In the Introduction to Evil version, it does not say that that hero gets +2 strength. The card in the little corner says +2, but the card text no longer says that the hero gets the strength.
Yeah.
So,
I guess they figured it was redundant text.
Yeah, it sort of is redundant, but that's another problem. With Davy Jones, we got. It's gonna take too long for me to bring it out. Oh my god. But with Davy Jones, he has an item called the Armame, the ship.
The fate item or the flame?
The Flame Dutchman.
The
Flame
Dutchman. Yeah.
It lets you perform an action at another location.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, these types of cards say that you get to perform an available action at another location, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you have the precedent that they got rid of that hero gets +2 strength because it was redundant, then you read this new card and say, okay, I'm guessing the available action part of the card was also redundant. Because you can never, unless the card explicitly says so, you cannot perform an action covered by a hero.
Right.
But it
To be
turns out,
fair,
Oh, go ahead.
I will be. To be fair, it says he may take a non-fade action at another location with the crew of the Flying Dutchman. Nowhere does it say that you can't perform the action if it's covered. So already on the text, it's saying you can just perform any action.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It doesn't say another or an available action because a lot of other cards could say a lot of other cards say that you may take an available non-fade action or something like that. So that's what I was thinking too. But we also got the Ravensburger actually put this in their tip video, their official tip video, and said that. So that was nice to get that official clarification on a tip video. I hope
But
they do
then
that with these new ones.
And then the also way you can kind of think about it is the Flying Dutchman and Davy Jones are dead, right? So if the ship is dead, so pretty much it can just go anywhere and do anything it wants. Whereas like if it exactly, so like if it's like a living hero, it's covering actions. But if you're dead, you're just it's like you can walk through them, right? So it's essentially the same concept.
Yeah, I totally get it, but it's just nice to have that official confirmation with the video. I'm glad they put that in there. I hope they do that with these new villains.
Yeah, it's good to get clarifications officially, but again, this is a problem with not having standard wording. When you do write a card very intentionally, like the Flying Dutchman, doesn't say you have to perform an available action. When you write it very intentionally, the players do not know. Like, I mean, if I wasn't so, how do you say, so online all the time, I would probably buy Davy Jones and never even think about this card being able to perform covered actions. I wouldn't even consider that this specific card is written intentionally and it's not a mistake.
To be fair, we were so used to it at the time to where you can't perform anything that's covered. But I mean, it's very plain and simple. It says he may take an action at another location. So it's not specifying you can't take a covered location. So automatically you're like, oh, that's different. I can take any action. I will say, like, especially with people that play competitively or like in tournaments, we want to like make sure that we hone down on everything. But at the same time, people overthink the card to the point where you're messing yourself up. And then when you're explaining things, you're getting other people on your side. So then it just becomes a habitual thing. Sort of like what we were doing with like the find rule and Caesar moment and whatever. It's just oversimplified. So if it says you can't take anything that's covered, plain and simple. If it doesn't say that and it just says any action, then you can do it covered or not covered. If it says you can take any available action, obviously that means you can't do anything that's covered.
Obviously, right?
Yeah,
obviously the other cards are written how you should play them, right?
Yeah.
We have another example that also caused a bit of confusion. Just enough left.
Yeah.
Gain a vanquish action drawn with a symbol, or an activate action. Also, they're just symbols on the card. So, gain vanquish action or activate action. How did you guys interpret this card when you read it?
I saw it as you gain that one of those actions. You can't gain both. You gain one or the other, but you may take it or not take it. So it's kind of like those cards that in like Pete's deck or the other ones where you put an item and it gives you an additional action for that location. But this is an effect, so it's only temporary. So it just says you gain a vanquish action, which means you don't have to take it right away. You can just play and say, I'm going to play this effect so I can do something with, that effects do or activate or whatever. And then there you go.
Yeah, I honestly say that with the just enough left, it's like okay, so if it's like, for example, I'm playing this and I'm like, okay, I can take a vanquish and I can get rid of a hero and all that, or I can do an activation. It's like, okay, I can activate this card or that's attached to this item or this character, and I can do what is needed. But it's like being at the fork in a road.
Mm-hmm.
Either doing one or the other. If you do one, then it's like, oh, you're going to regret not doing this later.
A lot of people forget that effects are instant, that you have to do it immediately. So then when you're playing an effect card, you know you have to do that immediately. You can't just play the effect and then wait like 5 minutes to do it. So an effect is an immediate thing. So that I guess it could be clarified that it would need clarification that you have to do it. Sort of like how on Pay the Toll, you have to move an actual hero in order to gain 2 cards. You can't just play it and gain 2 cards. Like you actually have to use the action.
Yeah.
Well,
When
and
I
also,
thought it was self-explanatory, but
I look at the wording of that. It says gain an action, not perform an action. Unlike Cruella de Vil, who has a card that says perform an activate action, not gain an activate action, perform, which means perform it as soon as you play this card. But gain doesn't mean perform. Gain just means now you have this action to do with as you please.
Yeah, when I read this card for the first time, it didn't confuse me because I had already played Marvel Villainous, and that does have a couple of effects that are like this. And people explain to me, no, when you gain an action with that effect, it just means that you perform it. Then why didn't they write perform it? Why do they specifically write gain? Because gain actions was only used for items, and for items that let you perform that action at any point in the turn, right? So when you read gain vanquish action, you think, okay, I don't have to do this right now. I can wait a little bit maybe. Especially the activate may be useful to perform later on. So you may think, okay, I'm gonna wait a bit for the activate action. Oh, what's that? Gain means perform actions when it's an effect? Well, I guess so. It's very annoying. Especially
it's the same thing. An effect is an immediate thing. So you're gaining that move a hero action to use right now, and then once you move it, you get the 2 cards. You play just enough left. You're playing the card as an effect, so you get to immediately use an activate or a vanquish. I mean, it's kind of simple.
Yeah, I mean, that reasoning sounds alright. Again, if this was a game where every card was written with a specific format and with a specific wording, when the cards each have their own wording, sometimes they say gain action, take action, perform action, you start to confuse the players. For example, whenever you perform an action with Prospero Hall, it was always perform action, perform this, perform that. They never use another word, I believe. Then we have Gaston that has a condition, which is beautiful as me.
Yep.
Which says, if another player takes 4 or more actions, you may play beautiful as me. What is taking an action? Does that count if I perform it? Obviously it does, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But why would you change the wording? Like, why do you have cards that, well, obviously it's written this way. You have to do it this way. And then you have cards like Beautiful as Me where, well, obviously take is the same as performing.
Do you ever think that perform would elongate the text to where you couldn't fit on it?
Oh no, 3 more letters.
I would agree with that if it was already bogged down with a bunch of text, but kind of like the one with Cruella de Vil, it's not bogged down with text. It just says perform and activate action.
Yeah.
But I do understand, needing to conserve space. So if that's the reason, then if that's the reason, that's the reason.
Yeah, especially you cannot ask us to pay attention to how the cards are written, and then in another one say, well, obviously this one you just have to interpret it. Obviously it means the same as this other word, and
the way I
happens
think
constantly.
of it, I was gonna say the way I kind of think of it is what's it called? Back to with like for example with Prince Hanzo, they have 3 different wordings for basically putting frozen tokens on the board.
Right.
It's kind of like we're all these from the competitive side of things, where we actually are all gamers. The inconsistent wording, like for example with the gain on just enough left, it's like, oh well, that's an extra effect for us. We could play it but not use it if it says gain.
But then you have to remember it's an effect, and once you play an effect, it's immediate. So you're gaining that action to perform immediately, and that's why I'm saying it's being taken too far. You're playing an effect card to play the card to gain the effect of what is on the card.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we noted how, for example, like with the Davy Jones's ship, the Dutchman, and the Raven, how the lack of the word available is important. So it's kind of a double standard where they want us to view words as important, but then in some cases it's like, oh, but now these words are not important.
Yeah, and I think it's time to address the elephant in the room, since we have Sanderson sisters. The which is ally or is it not an ally? And I know that's been a very sour point for a lot of people, myself included. Yes, I know the guidebook says the witches are considered allies, but that doesn't technically make them allies. But
So
how
I
will we
can
know? Go ahead.
I can put this to bed really simply.
Go ahead.
So they are considered allies for conditions. If you read the text of We Have a Child, it says discard an ally, right? It's the red text. But on Burning Rain of Death, it says you may move an ally, red text, a witch, orange text, or a hero, yellow text. That is very clearly stating that witches are the different color and they are not considered allies for fate effects. They are only considered allies for conditions. And if you see, it's obviously in We Have a Child, it's only advertising J and ice. So,
Right.
it's very
But
simple.
with that being said, the ally text on condition cards are red, not orange. And also, if you go back in time to Hades Titans act as allies, but they are not considered allies for conditions. So
And
how
it's
come
just-
the witches are
and it-
considered allies for conditions? But
It's
the
also
Titans are not?
it's also a developmental thing of like, okay, well, are Titans really considered allies for him? Maybe, maybe not. Or the witches, they're all apart, they're all one entity, so they don't consider each other an ally, they consider themselves as one.
That's how I
Right,
see
but
it
Jay
as
and Ice
well.
are not their allies for any reason whatsoever, but they are considered allies in their deck.
Yeah.
But they do hinder the kids
The
in the
heroes,
movie. So
right.
in a way, they could be viewed as an ally to them.
It's like
Well, no, I
really
understand
dumb.
that part. I just don't understand why Titans are not considered allies for conditions, but the witches are.
I think
I would
it's
think
a
the
design
Titans.
choice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
definitely
think the
a design
Titans are
choice.
more on the lines of. Yeah, the Titans I think are more on the lines of like, they're their own separate entity, yet they're also allies to Hades because it's like, okay, we're trying to like get them to one point, pretty much.
I think Titans in this case, there's just an actual large amount of allies in Hades thing that you can actually use besides the Titans, and so that's why probably. And I actually think before Hades, or even in that, I don't think there was a set where they had a different card type yet besides Titans.
The ingredients.
Oh yeah, they did
Yeah,
have.
me
Oh, for the Evil
But
Queen, yes,
if it's a
yes.
question about a villain having not enough or too many allies or something, the Evil Queen has one ally, but she has nothing that can make conditions for allies happen for her. If you play against the Evil Queen and you have conditions for allies, you're screwed. Same thing with Cruella de Vil. She has 2 allies. That's it. Once again, if you try to do conditions with allies, if she has 3 or more, you're screwed. So, I mean, it's what we were saying before. One thing works for one, but it doesn't work for the other. And how are we as players supposed to know? Let's say we're playing the game and we have no reference to the original material that this is drawn from, you know. So that's my beef with it, is that we're supposed to assume things based on what we know from what we're reading, and you know, we just couldn't make that leap unless you knew the source material.
Yes.
At least from my perspective, because as far as I'm aware, it's in each of the villains' books, whether the unique card counts as one thing or the other. Like,
Well, it
for
does say it
example,
very plainly. I know it does say it plainly in what's his name in Titans, in Hades' guide. It says Titans are not considered allies, so that's fine. But with the witches, and the only reason I call attention to this is because the fate cards don't affect when it says discard an ally. You can't do it with the witches, even though they're considered allies. That was where I really got it from, because I'm like, if they're allies, fine. But then you pull a card that says discard an ally, it's like, oh, well, the witches are allies. Get rid of one of them.
Yes, that's the problem. Yes, it's a bit confusing why Titans are not considered allies for conditions, but the witches are. But at the end of the day, we understand that it's a design choice. They just decided that the witches count and the Titans not. Oh, that's alright. But the guide says that the witches are considered allies. But when you play the game, you see we have a child and fire is hot that mention either witches or allies. And then you say, wait a second, we have a child. Obviously, you can see Ice and what was the other guy? Jack?
Jay. Mm-hmm.
Ice and Jay on the image, and the text says discard an ally. So when you read that, you start saying, I suppose this is supposed to only target allies. So I guess witches are not considered allies. I see. Witches are considered allies because they work like allies, right? You can vanquish with them, you can move them with the move and ally action. That's what it meant, right? It didn't mean that the witches are allies. Okay,
Right.
I understand.
But you can do that with Titans. You can do that with curses. You can do that with items. You can do that with all kinds of things.
And then if you realize we have a child affects the allies, fire it's hot affects the witches, and then burning rate of death affects the both of them. So right then, automatically, you can see that ally is the red, witches is the orange, and then burning rate of death has both. So you can just distinguish that the two are different in itself.
Different.
Yeah.
But they are not different for conditions. That's my point.
And that's where you
That's the
also have
problem.
to, that's where you have to also understand the deck.
Yeah, so in this case, it's witches are considered allies. Wait, no. But not for their decks or the fate decks. Only for conditions, obviously.
Yeah, it doesn't say for conditions only. It doesn't say for fate cards only or not for fate cards or anything else. It just says witches are allies, period.
It's just, you figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, because like
Good
Paul
luck.
says that.
It's what we got. Yeah, no.
The other thing I've been noticing with this newer deck, or with these newer villains, is that, and I think this might be a Marvel thing, so you Marvel experts have to let me know. I've only played it a couple times myself. But a lot of the cards, instead of saying, take something from the realm, take something in the realm, if so-and-so is in the realm, that's how Villainous or Disney Villainous used to read, right? But now, a lot of them are saying, take this if Anna is in play, if Elsa is in play, or if a hero is in play, or something else is in play, you know, unless it's actually specifying a specific card. Does that mean I could take a hero and put it anywhere in play? Or take an ally anywhere in play, not just in my realm? So that's another thing that I've noticed that is very, very vague. And I'm like, well, you know, Cruella DeVille's allies over there in play, so do that.
But then you just go back to the rules on the rule book, and where it says the realm is your own, you don't place it in anyone else's realm. That's just a basic fundamental rule.
Oh, I understand, but every all the way up to this edition has said on the cards in the realm. This is the first time we've ever seen in play instead of in the realm.
Yeah, that's another reason why I don't like that they don't have a specific way of writing the cards. You lose that, not only that clarity, but also you lose that, how will you say it? That flavor. Because it's much more interesting to say, oh, if Elsa is in the realm, if Anna is in the realm, if that hero is in the realm, that has flavor.
Right.
That
It's
reads
also
nicely,
the
right?
vocabulary. It's the vocabulary we've gotten used to for Disney Villainous. If you go to Star Wars Villainous, it says in the sector. And all the cards say in the sector, which is Star Wars Villainous's way of saying the realm. So I'm like, that's the vocabulary for Star Wars. And the in the realm is the vocabulary for Disney. So whenever you start meshing and messing with the vocabulary, it kind of throws some of us off.
Yes. Someone actually pointed that out to me. I'm the one that works on the errata and clarifications on all the cards document. And sometimes I rewrite the cards a little so they fit well with previous cards. And someone said, hey, I think you should play every instance of this card in play to this card in the realm. Not as much because they thought it was clearer, but because it sounds nicer. And I agree. That's also something you lose sometimes. For example, with just a bunch of hocus pocus. Normally, conditions say, during their turn, if they do this, blah, blah. But this one says, when a player takes a vanquish action on their turn, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. You can still completely understand it. There's nothing wrong with the way it was worded. But why change it? It was so nice before.
Okay.
Even your brain could skip reading during their turn because you're used to every condition having that, right? So when you change the wording, your brain needs to focus more. You need to see, okay, this is written differently. Let's see. Or it says the same thing as the other one or whatever. So you take like that little bit more to read the cards when they don't have a standard writing.
So I wanted to draw your attention to broadcasting back in Ernesto. And it says, Ernesto de la Cruz loses power equal to the number of heroes in play. Now, if we have 6 people playing at that moment, does that mean every hero in play across the table or just the realm?
Just the realm.
That's what we would think, but that's not what it just says in play. So someone who picks this up for the very first time and has no idea what the vocabulary should be, they're thinking in play. So there's 3 heroes over there on Corella's. There's a couple heroes over there on Dr. Facilier. There's one over there on Evil Queen. You see what I'm saying? Or the Remember Me card says the same thing. Then for each hero in play, flip 1 photo card face up. So, to someone who's never played this game before ever, and this is their first time ever playing it, they would think in play means anywhere.
Well, then you realize that if you've never played the game before, what do? You read the rule book, you read the guide, right? And it obviously
the rule book doesn't say anything about in play or in realm. Not in the Success at Any Cost book.
Well, it only says that cards in one realm doesn't affect the other.
In general.
Technically it's in there, but still, if a kid is playing, they can accidentally not read a certain part of the rulebook or maybe not quite understand what it means. So these kind of things, it is technically written right because the rulebook specifies that cards in one realm does not affect another unless they are conditions.
Is that also in the newest and Success at Any Cost? The rule book that comes with it.
I'm not sure. I'm still gonna guess.
Because it might be. Of course, it would be in the original box or Introduction to Evil box, of course. But if you're just picking this one thing, because you don't really have to have anything else, you can just play these 2 characters against each other if you wanted to. So I unfortunately I did not read the Success at Any Cost guidebook word for word. But if it's in there, fine. But if it's not in there, that's very vague. for new players.
Yeah, especially
Well,
because this is a
we're
family
talking.
game.
I'll pull. I'll pull it real quick. Let's see.
Okay. I didn't know if it was available online. Or if you've got it next to you.
Well, while
Pulling
you're
it
in
from the
there, let me...
My box is not within reach, unfortunately.
I sadly still don't have success at any cost because in Mexico they take like a month to be available.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another
Well, we're
problem
coming
now
up
that I
on a
think
month,
about
so
it.
maybe you'll get it really soon.
All right, your realm. Each player has their own realm. All cards played to your realm are considered to be in your realm. Cards in your hand, decks, and discard are not in your realm. Card abilities only affect cards in the same realm. This is success at any cost. Like I said, very simply, you read the rule book and it's right there.
But that's not what those cards say. They don't say in the realm. They say in play.
That is true. There is no mention of play just there. Let me see. If
All
there's something
all
there.
cards played to your realm are considered to be in your realm. So if someone's playing broadcasting to your realm, that is for your realm only, not everyone else's.
Yeah, you could say that it's technically in
Yeah,
the
I
rulebook, and I agree, but it's
Yeah, no,
still nicer
totally.
to just say in the realm instead of in play.
Right. Because that's what it's been saying up to this box. So that's, if it says it, it says it, and that's fine. But it's very confusing when you change the vocabulary midstream.
Yes, Lotus is taking a lot to load because I want to also mention that with Bigger and Badder, Ravensburger added strength tokens to the game, and almost every hero since uses strength tokens.
Mm-hmm.
But
Correct.
it is sometimes confusing for players, especially on the first playthrough, which cards add permanent strength tokens and which are just a temporary strength.
It's a very passive strength. Yeah, passive.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Lotso's is very confusing with that one.
Yeah, but Lotso actually, I think, did a pretty good job. Let's see. We have...
The only confusion I always have is with the hat.
Yeah. Let's see. For example, new doesn't stand a chance. It says that heroes lose strength. Original factory settings. Heroes lose strength. Let's see who else. The bookworm.
that's pretty simple.
Reduces hero strength by that amount. Well, the card is written in a way that it would be awkward to write it in a way to use lose strength. So that one is, I give it a pass. Then we also have cards like and it's looking for us. Here they say that the heroes get strength. For those of you who may not remember, before Ravensburger, every card that changed a hero's strength or an ally's strength always said get +2 strength, get -1 strength, etc. And with Lotso, with Despicable Plots, they started using sometimes lose strength, gain strength, and it was sort of confusing. But at least for Lotso's deck, the only cards that say that give permanent strength tokens say either gain or lose strength. And the ones that are temporary strength gain say get -1 strength, get +1 strength. For example, the allies and Woody's hat.
Which Sparks and Chuck will get +1 basically. Yep. And the hat was the most confusing thing of Lotso.
Yeah, for sure. But I do remember in Hades and Jafar, they had cards that say heroes lose or gain strength for this turn. So at least there was that wording, but I haven't really seen that wording much since, unless I'm missing something.
You mean
Everything seems to be more permanent strength boost or strength reduction.
Actually, let me check Hades quickly. I'm not gonna spawn it on Tabletop Simulator. So
Yeah, it's the
Achilles heel right?
Achilles heel, yeah.
No, it says that hero gets -2 strength until the end of the turn.
Until the end of your turn, yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Gets.
And
I'm not sure if
Jafar's
Jafar
got
had
Jafar
hourglass.
with the hourglass, has the same thing. It says for this turn only, or until the end of this turn, or however you want to word it.
And Hook with aye, sir.
Oh yes, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, they used to always say get +1, get -2.
Right.
And then they started using lose strength, gain strength, reduce strength. And they should have gone with a wording that made it clear which effects are permanent strength boosts and which ones are temporary. Marvel actually does a great job at this, because it either says that the heroes gain strength, or it says place a strength token on that hero. Place 3 strength tokens on that hero.
Right.
So that's very clear. But in Disney Villainous, we don't have that. You just have to sort of use context clues, which is fine. I don't think there's a card that after you read it a couple of times still has like that confusion. But still, it would be much nicer to have a specific wording for permanent strength tokens.
I agree with that.
I remember the only confusion was some brief stuff over Davy Jones, a couple of his cards, but yeah, all the same. I would love a keyword there.
Oh, Avery, hello.
Hi, yes, I'm here too now.
I do know with Evil Queen, it always says Snow White gets +1 strength for every other hero in the realm. Or heroes or when Dopey is out, he enhances every hero by +1 strength. So I know that's the kind of the first time we've ever seen something where you get permanent, it's not till the end of the turn kind of thing, for the most part. Or if it's not an item you attach, like the pickaxes or the Sword of Truth, or...
Well, that's technically not permanent, because it depends on certain conditions.
Well,
or
what I meant was
abilities.
permanent as in it's not just for that turn. It's while that hero is in play. Right.
Let me actually show you guys one card from, I believe it was Tamatoa, which I hate.
I think I know.
Draws a lot of cards, so let's see.
Is it powerless?
Card?
Let me...
No.
I'm trying to find
It's
the card
powerless.
that makes a
Is it
hero lose
PlayStation
strength.
with the power creation?
No,
I'm thinking it's powerless.
Powerless.
You mentioned really disliking powerless.
Is that it?
Here we have give a
give a
hero
hero
up
up
to
to
-1 strength tokens. That's how Marvel Villainous works.
All hail.
So that's what you do like.
That's nicer, right?
Yeah.
It's very clear that you have to place the strength tokens in there.
Yeah.
But there was
But when
actually
it's
a
not
worse card.
pre-established, it just makes it feel weird.
Yeah.
Also, this is a tiny thing. If you're gonna keep telling us to use -1 strength tokens, why even include the -2, -3? The day they include -2 +2 strength tokens, I will be so happy.
I will be happy when they include +2 strength tokens, but all we have are +1 strength tokens. And I have to pile them up sky high on certain heroes and allies.
Yeah.
I don't even use them. I just go off of whatever it is. And I, like for Davy Jones, for the crew, I know there's 3 allies at the other location, so I know it's a 4 strength. I don't even use the strength tokens.
Yeah.
Well,
with
I mean, that might get confusing if you have Elizabeth Swan in the realm and she gets +1 strength for every hero that comes into the realm. So hopefully you can keep count with that.
Well, right. Obviously, that is different, but I'm just saying for like the crew, because it changes so frequently sometimes, you don't even need to. But obviously, if Elizabeth is the first one played and then you get faded 3 times in a row and the other 3 come out, now she's a 4 strength, right? You defeat one, another one comes in, she gains more. Like that's different. That's where you have to use it. Like when James Norrington, you defeat a hero, he gets a +1.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want you guys
Usually,
to read
like-
this. Could you read it, Jarek?
The powerless card.
No, Sunrise.
Sunrise.
Sunrise. All witches gain -1 strength.
Yep.
Gain
Gain
minus
minus-
one.
Plain and simple.
Before this,
Yeah.
they always said gain strength, and now gain -1. Are you telling me
Yeah.
that in the next box we're gonna get lose +1 strength, or something like that? Why do you
So
change it in every
mathematically
card?
speaking, those two things cancel each other out.
Yeah. Why do you keep changing the wording? Just copy and paste it.
Yeah. All
It
witches
takes
gain
more
negative
time
one.
to write
so
the whole thing again. Just copy and paste the card, the text.
if this was a math word problem, it would be all witches plus -1 strength.
There have been some cards that I literally was just reconsulting my math notes from my semester of college last year to like get in my mind, okay, this is why it works this way. Like, I understand when it works, it's just my brain sometimes has trouble understanding, okay, but why does it work this way? The Woody's hat stuff, for example. I don't know what y'all have already talked about, but
And we just kind of glazed over it a little bit.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, actually, we should talk about Woody's hat, and
Yeah.
something that I want to talk to you guys about, which is very important, which is
Right.
the secret rules for permanent
With
strength
Rex.
tokens and temporary strength tokens, because there are secret rules that the game does not tell you, and you just have to look up clarification on specific cards. And
Yeah.
after getting all of those clarifications, you realize that there are secret rules for each type of strength token.
Yeah.
For example, Woody's hat. All heroes get -1 except Woody. That's simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's say
I'm not gonna.
Huh?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna go ahead. But I'm not. I kind of want to read over. I'm not gonna read all that clarification, but I'm gonna read like little minor stuff. If that's fine by me.
Yeah.
So usually with the hat, when you play it, all heroes get -1 strength right now, except Woody, obviously. And then once Rex comes out, when he's not in the room, he immediately loses 1 strength immediately.
Right before he's placed.
And before, and then when a body point gets hit on a hero, you have to bring him out back again. And when he's out of the realm alone by himself, he loses 1 strength. It is one of the most confusing things of all time, and like, also when it's discarded by Woody, the -1 strength tokens will get off every hero as well.
Right. But then the question becomes, if they had -1 and then they lose, or let's say they gain strength with Andy's looking for us, does that negate the -1? Or when the hat goes away, do they also gain 1 more?
So Meta's explained it before as the like passive strength stuff, Woody's hat being the only one in Lotso's deck other than the allies, is the last thing calculated. So you've got all the permanent stuff, and then so Andy's looking for us on Jessie. So Jessie has 2 strength because of Woody's hat. Andy's looking for us comes out. Her base strength is 3, so now she has 5 strength, but she still gets the -1 from Woody's hat, so now she's at 4 strength. I see the strength tokens as a way to like essentially redo the printed strength. So that's why I don't do it on the passive stuff like the Crew of the Flying Dutchman, because in my head I can like parse out, okay, this is just they get their extra strength, but when the strength tokens come around, it makes it a lot more confusing to me if I'm taking them off and putting them on. for both passive and permanent strength loss and gain. And I say all this with the caveat that I like strength tokens in theory. It's just we need to figure them out.
Yeah, and we need more than just
A lot.
+1.
Yeah.
Please.
I want to talk about this. For those listening to this, Woody's hat gives every hero gets every hero to -1 strength, right? So if Rex was already in play on a location without a hero, because let me read Rex first. Rex cannot lose strength if other heroes are in his location. So if you play the hat while Rex was, let's say, with Jesse, then Jesse is affected. Jesse gets the -1.
Except for Rex.
But Rex does not, right?
Yeah, Rex won't get it.
Yeah, 9 if he's alone.
Uh-huh.
Right.
But
He will get it as he travels from the Fate deck to whatever location you're going to put him in. He will get it.
Yeah.
okay,
Technically.
so Rex right now has his normal strength, hasn't gotten -1. Then you move Rex somewhere else. Okay, now he's not at a location with a hero, right? Now you can give him the -1. But
Correct. Yep.
let's think about this situation. Let's say Rex was at 4 strength, 1 + 3 strength tokens, right?
Yeah.
He was with Jesse, you play the hat, so Rex does not get the -1 yet. You move Rex somewhere else. Okay, so he was at 1 + 3. Now he's
And then he
1,
loses 1,
he's 1
yeah.
+ 2, right?
Right.
And then you lose 1 strength. Yep.
But then you move him with Jesse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you move Rex again out of another hero location. Hey, other player, do you remember if I already got Rex the -1? I don't remember. Maybe. So
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Yep.
Normally, board games don't expect you to remember previous turns or something like that. But Disney Villainous does expect you to remember in this case. So what you have to do technically is when you play Woody's Hat, you place a power token on Rex to remember that he's already gotten the -1, right? So when you move him to a location with a hero and then back out again, you can say, he already had the -1. I don't have to add another one. But the guide does not tell you anything, doesn't tell you that advice. So you just kind of have to figure out that you have to remember that he already got the -1. But there's another rule. Really
quick. I really like and appreciated the power token tip when I saw it in the Errata 6.0 draft. Instead of just placing the power token aside, I've been placing it on Woody's hat. If I'm waiting for Rex to get that -1.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's
and then I
nice.
pop it on him.
Yeah, I want you guys to consider this situation. The hat is not in play, but Rex was already at 0 strength, right? 1 -1. Then you play the hat. Rex is already at 0, so he doesn't lose he doesn't get another -1.
Negative numbers don't exist in this
But
game.
then Woody comes around, discards Woody's hat, and Rex gets the +1 back, even though he never lost it. That's not me. That's pretty much ignores the
with that
rule
situation.
about
It sounds like he never lost the strength to begin with, so why would he gain it back?
Yeah, that's right. And that's because there are secret rules for the strength tokens, and they are not in the rule books.
I have to agree. Lotso is probably the most confusing out of all the villainous villains, whether you're a new player or a veteran player. Yeah, he definitely takes some large amounts of brain power.
We haven't even gone over the situation of play Andy's looking for us. Say the hat was out, right?
Yeah.
So the hat was out already. Rex was by himself. for all intents and purposes, we could say Woody was already out before you played the hat, right?
Yeah.
If Rex was at the -1, right? Let's see, can I don't know if I can set that. Say he's at -1 already. You play Andy's looking for us. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter if Andy's looking for us. Never mind.
It was
But
bonus toys.
basically, there's the
I
fact-
suppose you're thinking about bonus toys, right?
Yeah, basically, if, for example, Rex gets all suddenly more strength and hadn't had the minus from earlier,
Right.
how that will then be subtracted from his added new total, according to the wording on this card.
Well, in the case of bonus toys, if Rex is already at 0 because of the hat, then bonus toys comes around. Choose a hero with reduced strength and remove all strength reduction tokens from that hero. So you get rid of the -1 from Rex. But guess what? Woody's hat still puts it back if he's on every hero. If they're not at if Rex is at a location with other heroes, obviously. So this is one of the things that I told you about the secret rules of the permanent and temporary strength gain.
Yeah. I think with the hat, all they had to do to fix the hat problem is to say when Woody's hat is played, all heroes gain -1 strength.
Yeah.
That way it happens when it's played, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, for someone like Lotso who's so concerned about the strength tokens and whose 0 strength heroes work differently,
Right.
I definitely would have preferred that. I see what they were going for, and I do
Or
like
they could
it.
have, yeah. I was going to say they could say when the hat is played, all heroes gain -1 strength. If the hat is discarded, all heroes gain +1 strength. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, something like that. Because, well, that's technically how it works. But
Right, but I mean, it's just the way it's worded. It's always going to be in effect. So if you do Bonnie's toys, they lose their strength token, but because Woody's hat's in play, they all go right back. So it's like this permanent strength drain.
Yeah.
It's like
We're climbing into
anti-bard.
cars.
You also
and-
could just discard it if it's too complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Bonnie's Toys is a large part of the reason I have so much disdain for myself using the passive, using strength tokens for passive strength alterations, because then with Bonnie's Toys I have to be like, okay, so now I take one of the -1 strength tokens off because this doesn't exist, and then their printed strength is now their base strength again, but then I have to put the -1 back on. It just becomes a hassle. But this is also Lotso we're talking about.
Right.
Yes. So
Oh, I love you,
Pretty
buddy.
much.
here's one of the secret rules
I know,
from
it's
the game.
complicated.
As I said, let's say Rex already was at 0, right? Woody's hat comes in. Rex gets -1. The secret rules say that if a hero gets... okay, just so I don't have to change my wording, I'm gonna say get for temporary strength tokens, and I'm gonna say gain and lose for permanent. Okay? Like in the Rata.
Yep.
Okay, so if a hero gets strength less than 0, then you have to add or subtract strength tokens until that hero is at 0. So they are not at -1, right? So for example, in this case, you will not add another -1 on Rex. You instead technically get rid of the -1 that was already on Rex, and then add the one from the hat, because getting strength has priority over losing and gaining strength, the permanent strength. That's one of the secret rules, that temporary strength has priority over permanent. And that affects the witches.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
witches get +1 strength for every other witch, right? So when you have all 3 of them in play, all of them have +2. Then let's
Right.
say you play. Let me find it. Where is it? The card that
right here.
Sunrise.
The sunrise.
Right here.
That one makes a witch lose 1 strength when it says gain -1 strength. That's stupid. Lose 1 strength, right? So let's say Mary was.
I like to point out though that it doesn't say which witch. You can choose whichever one.
Oh yeah, all witches. Okay, so
Yeah.
all of them have -1 strength token on them, right?
Yeah.
Then let's say you play Sunrise again. Okay, they lose another one. But here's the thing. The secret
Back
rules
to
of
where
the
they
game
started.
say that first you take the strength printed on the hero. So for example, with Mary it would be 1. Then you add the permanent strength tokens. In this case it would be -2. So Mary is now at -1 strength, right? Okay, the secret rule says that, okay, you have to get rid of the negative strength token that made her go to negative strength, right? So now Mary is at 1 -1. Then the temporary strength gain. So she gets +2 from every other witch. So Mary has 1 -1 +2. So all the witches at minimum have 1 strength for every other witch. If you play Sunrise again, you cannot make their strength go lower. And that is not a rule that is written in the game.
Yeah, because whenever I would play them and have them like this, I would always give them the +1 strength tokens just to remind myself about it, because sometimes I forget. And so if the Sunrise came out, I would just remove one of those +1 strength tokens, and I would just keep going until, because I figured the Sunrise was making them weaker.
Yes.
So that's why I kind of thought, but that's, wow, okay.
We actually haven't gotten a confirmation for the witches, but based on all the previous cards, that's how the strength works. When I say the secret rules, they are not rules that have been stated anywhere.
What's the confirmation you're needing on Sunrise?
Yeah, I pretty much looked at all these weird rules on Woody's Hat, Mr. Incredible. What was the card from Syndrome that got rid of all the strength tokens from a hero?
Unit.
A containment unit. All of those cards have weird clarifications, and it seemed random at first. But then I realized that they have secret rules for the strength tokens that they don't tell you about. So, as I said, as you said, when you play with Mary and the witches, you will add the +2 strength token because of the other witches. Then if Sunrise is played, you get rid of 1, right? Sunrise is played again, okay, you get rid of another one. Sunrise is played again, you place a -1 strength token. But the game does not work like that, and nowhere in the rulebook does it say how it works. And this is also the reason why with all characters, for example with Achilles heel, that makes a hero get -2 strength, right? That could mean that the hero goes from, let's say, 1 strength to -1, right? But you don't add strength tokens, so it's just at -1, but you consider it as 0. If Hades was released today, then when you play Achilles heel and get a hero to -1, you have to add a +1 strength token. And that +1 strength token will stay after Achilles heel is no longer is infect, which is a very big problem that I have with the strength tokens. And one of the reasons why I think it works better if the permanent strength uses strength tokens, and the temporary strength, you just try to remember it like the old villains, right? For example, with the witches, if you don't use strength tokens for the witches gaining strength for the other witches, this weird rule that I said makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Like when you add a -1 strength token, you say, okay, I cannot get her to less strength that she already had.
Yeah.
And with the hat, it's also similar. For example, with bonus toys, choose a hero with reduced strength tokens and remove all strength reduction tokens from that hero. If you don't use strength tokens for Woody's hat ability, then obviously you get rid of the other strength tokens, and Woody's hat is still in effect. You didn't remove the strength tokens from it because it doesn't use strength tokens. That makes more sense than adding the -1 back afterwards. So that was my rant on Woody's hat and the strength tokens.
Yeah, I think strength tokens were a good idea. Getting to permanently alter strength is fun in concept, honestly fun in execution most of the time. Barring the confusion that is so common, it is fun to permanently alter strength. I feel like Tamatoa executed it kind of perfectly. There's only one thing that does passive strength alteration, and that sloth monster. That's really easy. Everything else is permanent, and just watching it get bigger and bigger. That's so much fun. But strength tokens just... I do wish that those secret rules were unveiled in the rulebook, because they are so commonplace now that they deserve a lot more formal attention than I think they've been given.
I think of it kind of like Magic the Gathering, because it always says in those things, place a token here, place a +3 token there, and so you either have the tokens which affect it or you don't. So you can't have it if the token's not there. So I was appreciative of the tokens, and I use them any chance I get, whether it's a passive ability or not, because I just need the visual reminder that this hero is at +1 strength at this time, or +4, +5, whatever.
That's fair. My fiance definitely, and a lot of other players, but my fiance is the one I'm most frequently playing with, definitely prefers that visual clarity as well. And we just choose to ignore my grumbles and moans as I forget to take them off when the
as those you are affianced to love to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I talk about this a lot with my mom, because she asks me a lot about it, and because she knows I have like the physical copies of it and she's interested. She asks me a lot, like, okay, with this character, how is this different from this other character? Well, I say, well, for example, if I'm playing as Lady Tremaine and Mom, you're going to be playing as Madam Mim. Totally different story, totally different like goals and all that, but there's one that like you have to take into effect, like, okay, this can only be done this way and this way and this way. There are some things that can help you out as well, but then there are some things that are going to hinder you. So with me personally, when it comes to power tokens, I see it as one of two different things. Either A, it helps you out a lot, or B, it's often used as a crutch for some characters.
Yes.
Yeah. I will say this, because there has been a lot of controversy on the last couple of years. It is noted and it has been discussed, so I'm not going to say anything, but just know that everything is being talked about and discussed, and it is trying to be improved. And obviously the company felt a need to do the same, so just keep that in mind as well.
I appreciate that.
That's very good to hear.
Gameplay comes first, and gameplay-wise, I don't think it's faltered. Obviously, we have hiccups, Ernesto's turn 1 win, and Madam Mim's double fate, and stuff like that. Like, there are hiccups gameplay-wise, but ultimately, at its core, I find all 29 villains immensely fun, and I think I think the game plays well.
Yeah.
It's just the clarity and the fact that I have to act as a guide through the haunted castle that is Villainous to all new players. With my trembling oil lamp at night.
You use that as a trademark now. You get it as a trademark. The
Oh my
castle
gosh.
that is Villainous. I love that.
Oh,
Yes.
And
Of
I have
course.
fun. I love it. I'm slowly getting my friend worked into the addiction.
Yeah.
Man,
Well, I have the people that I get to play with every so often are very, very much. I mean, if y'all think I'm a stickler for how the rules are read, you haven't met these people. So trying to come to a conclusion for all three of us to be in agreement on how certain cards are worded versus others. For instance, the ally thing on the Sanderson sisters, that was a point of contention the entire evening. We still talk about it.
Wow.
So,
Oh, yeah. I totally get that. It's yeah. I always feel so sorry for you, Meta, when you have to come in and say, okay, so the game lies to you about what their goal is and about what witches are.
Oh, I want to talk about that. You're right. There are 3 villains. 3 villains with the wrong objective. Let's see.
did you say with the wrong objective?
Yes. 2 of them
I think
is
he
just
did
a technicality. And one of them
So that would be
is...
Ernesto would be number one, right? He's got the wrong objective.
No, I mean that the objective on the board is not what you do to win the game.
Sanderson's.
The
Yeah,
first
Sanderson's has
Andy
got more
Turner's
steps to it than what it
stats.
The
says.
first one is, well, I'm spawning in Dr. Facilier. But the second one is
Yeah, Dr.
Lady
Facilier
Tremaine.
just says,
Oh, yeah.
Lady
Yeah,
Tremaine.
I've never.
Yes.
Marry
I-
Gisela or Anastasia to the prince. There is no card
Yeah, it
that
doesn't
marries
say in the
Anastasia or
ballroom.
Gisela to the prince.
right, it doesn't say in the ballroom, which is where it has to
Yeah.
happen.
Successfully
Yeah.
activate wedding bells. There you
Right.
go.
No,
Oh,
or even
yeah.
better, they should have written on wedding bells, activate wedding bells. If one of the allies is here, blah, 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 then marry Gisela or Anastasia to the prince. Like,
It also
Similar
doesn't say.
to similar to take the shot. If the cost is blah blah blah, you make the shot and win the game.
Yeah, like
therefore fulfilling.
Right,
instead,
it also doesn't say marry ball gown Drusilla or ball gown Anastasia.
that's also true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know
So-
we've been clowning on Lotso a little bit, but Lady Tremaine's the one that always makes me tired when I'm looking under her hood. Speaking
Yeah,
of, I
she's-
saw you have Lucifer out.
Yeah, Lucifer is one. That one's not as difficult as some of the other things in there. The biggest thing with Lady Tremaine and me is ball gown Cinderella. Does she always go to the ballroom or does she go anywhere? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah, there's
And turns out, no, she doesn't have to go in the ballroom, which
Yeah.
raises the question, who in their right mind would ever put her in the ballroom?
yeah, that's
Right.
just a flavor thing.
Oh, yeah.
only
and I
Balgon-
appreciate that.
Only Balgon characters and the prince can go to the ballroom. All right,
Right.
that's flavor.
But the ball,
That makes sense.
ball gown,
That's kind
ball
of an
gown
easy win.
stepsisters can only go to the ballroom and the prince, but yeah, huh.
Uh-huh.
Um, and items are not allowed in there, despite the guide saying characters.
Right.
And trust me, I exploited that before I found the clarifications. I was like, oh, Jacques, you see it now.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So wedding bells. Wedding bells
Yes, that's
activate. Can only be activated when the prince and either Balgon Anastasia or Balgon Gisela are in the ballroom and no glass slippers are in play. Activate this card to win the game. So
Right.
you win
See,
the
now
game.
that card at least says what to do.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
That's self-explanatory.
this is a case of technically this is an alternative win condition because the wedding bells does not say that you marry Gisela or Anastasia. It just says that you win the game. So this is just a technicality that you win the game
Yeah.
by playing the card that says you win the game, not by accomplishing your objective. This is a technically, it doesn't matter in gameplay, it's just kind of funny. Similarly with Dr. Facilier, control the talisman and successfully rule New Orleans. There is not a card that says that you rule New Orleans. Instead, when Rule New Orleans is rebuilding a 4-2 ability, it says that you win the game. So
To be
again,
fair,
you win the game
its
because
name
the card
is
says
Rule.
so, not because you accomplished your objective. So
I
these
will
two,
say, really quick on this note, because a lot of this is going to be us clowning on a steady decline as Ravensburger has taken over, I do want to say I really appreciate the flavor they give Villainous.
Yes.
I like the flavor
sure.
text at the beginning of every villain guide, and like, look at that little exclamation point at the end of Wedding Bells.
win
Dr.
the game.
Facilier could never. That's terrible.
Or the exclamation
Never.
point on sorcery and monster.
Yeah,
in
it makes me so
Cons.
excited. It's like,
Yeah,
I
The
have
one thing that
Yeah.
that is always been 10 out of 10 for me is the design. Every board's design has been, well done. Color choices, color schemes. I'm not too big on Ernesto's white, but whatever. But I know why they did it that way. But everything else, the artwork on all the cards, pristine. Everything pristine.
Oh,
When it's time for gameplay, though, that's sometimes we lose it. Not much, but we do.
mostly the wording for me. I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of things to say about other villains gameplay wise, but most of that comes down to personal opinion. I know I've said my piece about Gaston many a time, but
Yes.
the game has. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I totally agree.
Can't argue.
I still like the game. I just wish
I play it all the
it
time
wasn't
as much as I
annoying.
can.
when you get a new character.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you get a
Yeah.
new character, okay, let's look up online. What are the weird rules? What are the classifications? What are the misprints?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
I
example,
will say this.
You gotta look at every single
I was
thing.
going to say, in the Sanders and Sisters, I was looking at the recipe cards, the recipe book cards, thinking that there's something on there that says when the mover and all three witches and the hero with the life potion in the same location, then you can vanquish them. I don't see that on any of the recipe cards. I know it's in their guide, but I'm just saying it's not on the recipe cards. It's not on their objectives on the board. And a little hidden fact is you have to also be on a location that has an available play card action, and that is only the cemetery and Salem Town.
Yeah.
yes.
This is getting
Even
more
that-
into the design, but what a
Right.
weird choice to not have them have a player card at the bottom of everything. But
Right.
In any
but
case.
yeah, you cannot win the game at the cottage, and you cannot win the game at the Dennison's house,
Yes.
which I thought was kind of bizarre. You would think they would be able to win in their own house, but that's just me.
Trust me, from my high school career, sometimes being in your own house is the opposite of helpful.
You have no idea.
But they can win at the cemetery, even though they can't walk on it. Anyway,
Yeah, the hollow ground. I like that kind of limitation there.
yeah, I do like that. That was a good item effect, or an item, not really an effect, but yeah.
Oh, speaking of unattached fate items, shout out to my boy Maurice's invention. Go
Yeah,
girl,
we
give
talked
us
about that.
nothing.
Oh, he still reduces strength of allies.
It does its job. I just wish
Yeah.
it said its job. Okay.
So yeah, the tier character that has the wrong objective is the Sanderson Sisters. The objective
Yes.
is defeat a hero with the life potion. All right.
Right.
Then you read the recipe. Let me make it big. There we go. It says,
Make it big.
using the life potion, defeat a hero with all three Sanderson Sisters, the mover, and the life potion at the same location. It
Okay, so
doesn't
it does
say
say
the
that.
hero with the life potion. It doesn't say that you win when you defeat that hero. It doesn't say you cannot defeat the hero with the life potion if you don't have the witches, right?
Yeah.
Well, you can still defeat the hero with a life potion. You just won't win.
Yeah. But let's look at the guide then. I'm gonna guess that it's in there, right?
It's kind of like Dr. Facilier.
Wait,
If you
is
play
it
the
not
cards
in
will
there?
tell, but you don't have.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this, look at
No,
If
this.
you don't have. If you don't have the talisman, then you can still do the thing it says, but you won't win.
Yeah, that's how it works. But let's read the guide to see if that says something else, right? All three witch cards, the sisters themselves, the life potion, and the mover must be in the same location with a hero. Vanquish the hero to achieve your objective. It technically doesn't say you have to vanquish the hero with the witches. It doesn't say you have to vanquish the hero with... No, it says also that you achieved your objective. But that's not the objective on the realm. And it also doesn't say that you cannot vanquish that hero even if you don't have the witches in there. So, I mean, if you want to be technical, nothing says that you cannot vanquish the hero with the life potion with just one witch.
Yeah.
And
at a certain point it does become, okay, get out of my game night. This is weird semantics, but all the same, this should still be something that's clarified better. Whenever I'm pitching their objective to other people, which I'll be able to do more on Saturday, I always say their objective is defeat a hero who has the life potion on them to complete using the life potion. But even so...
But using the life potion does not say that you have to defeat the hero with the life potion. It just says defeat a hero.
Oh my god. Oh, well...
Yeah, it just says using the
life potion. It's like if you have all of this in that one location where the hero is, then use it.
I mean, you could have the witches and... Let me find the heroes. Danny and Max, right?
Yeah.
So you have Danny, Max, all the witches are with Max. Allison. Max has the life potion. This sucks.
Good
Technically, you can vanquish Danny with your other allies,
It's huge!
It's huge.
Damn, girl, that's a big tongue. Okay.
It just says defeat a hero with all three Sanderson sisters, the mover, and the life potion in the same location. So yeah, they're at the same location. I defeat Danny. But I don't win.
Yeah, you have to beat her first.
I mean, I want to be technical, but the recipe page doesn't even say what happens when you do that. It doesn't say you win the game.
Yeah.
So we went from you win the game to you win the game with an exclamation mark to what happens?
Same thing with the Queen of Hearts. Her card says win the game. You win the game.
You win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying before about vocabulary. If you're going to establish vocabulary, not just once, but many times, and then all of a sudden you change it, that's going to throw your players off, or at least your veteran players off, and forget about new players.
Yes.
They're just going to do whatever they think is right based on what the cards say and what the rules say.
Yeah. Shout out to Mike Mulvihill, a man I immensely respect for bringing such a brilliant vision to life with this entire game, for implying that remove and discard are different when applied to heroes.
Oh yeah, in the email that he sent you, he said that if
remove or defeat.
Yeah, I had said if Scissor Moment said to remove a hero instead of discard a hero, then you will be able to get rid of Family Blessings. So does that mean that there's another secret rule on the difference between removing and discarding?
That wouldn't make sense to me. But, like, I guess we'll see in the next box.
Like, yeah, maybe in the next box, some card says remove a hero, and you ignore every card already in play that says you cannot discard this hero, or you cannot get rid of this hero. But then one of the designers say that remove takes precedence over everything. Alright, so I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, if you really want to break it down, what happens when you defeat a hero? What happens to that hero card? What do you do with it?
You discard it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That was gross.
Except with lots of cards.
So, but it is interesting to say what they're going to do in the next box. Who's going to be in charge of the next box?
Yeah.
I am cautiously optimistic.
I am too, but I'm just like, who's next in line? You know?
I bought
Yeah,
better
I
news.
think we talked it on
No,
another.
you mean the designer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
for the designer.
was,
I think we talked it on another episode.
Yeah.
We talked on another episode where we're like, okay, who else do we want to see in Villainous?
I've already got
we're
mine
like,
picked out.
there's a lot of these characters that we want to see in Villainous, but there's a lot of pros and cons with these said characters. Like, what's going to be their buffs? What's going to be their debuffs? What's going to be the limitations? What's going to be the walls that they can't go through?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation today, and I brought up I said Mike Mulvihill is kind of the George Lucas of Disney Villainous.
He went
it
to
would not exist without him.
Places.
And he did such an incredible job. There is so much passion and great ideas in here. I love how far this is all extended. I love so much about it. The presentation could use some work. He is far better at designing the game than he is at polishing, presenting, and editing.
Right.
And, again, this is not a dig at Mike. I hold no ill will, but I'm tired, boss.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Wording.
Yeah, I hope...
I would be very much interested in the team effort that it takes to put this together. Number one, who's in charge of design and who makes the final say, yes, that's going to go on the board. Yes, that's how the card's going to look. And yes, that's how much strength it's going to have. That's how much power it costs to play. That's the ability it's going to have. I really like to know the process of all of this because, you can't just throw it all together and just say, well, we're going to have these cards and not have these cards. It will have this ability, not that ability. It can do this and do that. And the balancing and everything else, that's what I really like to know. What all of that process that goes into making one of these.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure... I'm sure we won't be able to know that process until well after the game has concluded, but man, it interests me. Only semi-related, because you brought up, absent the cost of a card. Make Thyself Known costs 4 power.
Mm-hmm.
That's... Am I alone in thinking that's a little much?
Well, if you want to talk about expensive cards for no reason, how about 5 dozen eggs?
Best card in the game.
I used it to defeat the beast a couple of weeks ago.
Did you really?
I used it to defeat the beast, and I got a total of 4 obstacles off my board with it before all of them came back, but I can die happy knowing I used 5 eggs effectively.
Wow, that card goes straight to my discard pile as soon as I see it.
Yeah.
What's funny is that most of the time, 1 power means 1 strength, and for allies, the allies normally have 1 strength more than the power you pay, right? 5 dozen eggs costs twice as much power as it gives strength. That's awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For a villain who already
struggles with power.
This is getting into design rather than wording, but
right.
Yeah.
Okay, to finish talking about everything, there are only 2 cards that I would like to bring up. The first one is Lucifer.
Hey, bud.
Did you guys know how Lucifer plays without looking it up online?
Yeah,
No.
every time a hero is in his location, they immediately get trapped.
Yeah.
Unless they're Ball Gown Cinderella or...
Yeah.
Ball Gown Cinderella, she can't be trapped. But everybody else can.
I misunderstood personally how it worked, but you look at it and it can be done in 4 lines of text. When Lucifer is played or moved, place a trap token onto every hero at his new location before their ability resolves. When a hero is played or moved to Lucifer's location, place a trap token on that hero before their ability resolves.
Right.
What frustrates me most is when it's on a card so simple that did not need to be as confusing as it did. The family blessing seize your moment interaction, for example.
Yeah, even though what you said had lots of words and maybe it was too big for the card, Lucifer says, place a trap token on a hero in Lucifer's location. You could have just written place a trap token on every hero in Lucifer's location. That's immediately more clear. It's still not super clear that when you play, for example, Jack to his location, he is trapped before his ability is resolved.
Right.
But it's better.
Yeah.
No,
That's kind
I
of
agree.
the biggest thing there is the interaction with Jacques. Because, I can see how, Absent landed on the correct thing immediately. Kudos to you. But the Jacques stuff is frustrating.
I do get it right sometimes. Rarely, but sometimes.
Oh, you get it pretty right. But all of Despicable Plots just seems to have been a little bit, I have a theory that Gaston was not fully figured out by the time he was released.
Really?
By the way, Show Me the Beast is phrased where you get to replace an obstacle. Yay, thank you, or just get no power. I feel like the obstacles may have had something more to them, like maybe adding actions to their location or something. I don't know. Yeah. Or like you get an extra power if you go there, or that there was going to be a lot more focus on the warmongering aspect of him, considering how many cards in his deck are about preserving and finding allies, which is important, I guess, but you don't need to that much. But what I'm saying is that I think that theory might also apply to Despicable Plots, because you remember as a whole, because you remember how there were still discussions a couple years later, but where different designers were giving different answers on whether Jacques discarded glass slippers.
Yes, because it doesn't say, I've noticed that it says one item from his new location, and that is an item.
Yeah, and it's non-optional.
Right.
So and you, as a fator, and when you play Jack to a location with a Jack's
not a
glass
fatee,
slipper,
but a fator,
you must discard the glass slipper, and that's interaction that apparently the designers didn't think about. And when someone brought it up, I don't remember the exact words, but it was like, oh yeah, I guess Jack discards the glass slipper.
Yeah. It's like finding a fun little bug in your game.
Yeah.
Okay. Not to keep ragging on Despicable Plots here. I am genuinely curious. How do y'all resolve Mrs. Pottsonship?
Let's see. I have to remind myself what she does. Let's see.
Mrs. Pottsonship.
Y'all go ahead.
When played, you may move all heroes or fade items to new locations.
That's an or?
Yeah.
Somehow I've never.
Yeah. It's an and or.
So,
but I love how it says fate items, plural. There's only one fate item.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make any sense anymore because the fate item will be attached.
Of course. And here's the thing.
So it's now just move all heroes.
When you first read through Gaston's cards, okay, Marusi's invention has 4 strength. It doesn't say that you attach it to a hero, right? Oh, and look, Mrs. Pottsonship says that you can move a fate item to any location. Okay, I suppose that Mauritius invasion blocks actions, and you can use Mrs. Potts to move it to any other location.
Yeah, but it has to be attached now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly,
so what did they mean?
Makes sense.
Well, when it was originally made and his item was not attachable, that's what it meant. So you can move, But now that's attachable. But I have read somewhere that you can reattach it to someone new. allegedly.
Yeah. What I've been playing it as is you may move any number of heroes to any other locations.
Including
and
Mrs.
then-
Potts herself.
Exactly. And then you may then reattach Maurice's invention to a new hero at a new location. But it seems like everybody has their own interpretation of this card.
Yeah. But since it does say or, that would mean you can only move a hero or the item.
Yes, that's super
Right.
weird. So
I never noticed that or, and now that I've noticed it, my night's a little worse.
so
Oopsie.
It's fine.
we have several questions. Can you choose to move some heroes and some not? And do you have to either move the heroes or move Maurice's invention? That's
I think it kind of depends on which one you're wanting to use or which one you're wanting to move, pretty much. It's a give or take.
Printed with an and? I swear it had an and.
no idea.
I am suffering over here. What?
I'm gonna
Wow.
see if there was an older version of that card.
Doesn't look like
just like his invention, it got reprinted. So maybe there was an old
Yeah.
print. So let's check that out. Hang on. Oh
Yeah,
no,
it doesn't look like it. But my
think
conspiracy
so.
theories about Gaston aside,
Oh,
God, his art is pretty though.
it is. I'm telling you, the art is no. I don't see an older version. So yeah, it's been or.
Yeah.
That's your Mandela effect brain on you.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, old reliable up here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and look at this. Apparently, Maurice was also misprinted. He used to say
Oh.
that if Maurice is vanquished, you get rid of the obstacles. So that means that if you play an effect that defeats him, you don't get rid of the obstacles. You have to vanquish him.
If he's vanquished, not defeated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he have any effects that let him defeat heroes?
Yeah, there's
Hunter's instinct.
Hunter's instinct.
It's been
Defeats
so long
hero
since I
with-
played as Gaston, I don't remember.
No, that's fair. Yeah, middle row there.
It's so funny that he can shoot an arrow to Belle.
I think of that old whatchamacallit Wicked League art where he's standing proudly over her arrowed body.
Oh,
I think about that quite a bit. I think about it in the same breath as that edit I once saw where Gaston in the opening number is pointing his musket at Belle while talking about how she's the lucky girl he's going to marry. But then Belle's head explodes as he points it.
uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Good
It's
stuff.
true, LeFou.
God.
Yeah.
Oh,
So pretty. The art. I mean, Gaston himself too, but
Eh.
Okay. So if you guys don't have any other cards you want to discuss, I want to quickly discuss Mary and
Mary.
Ooh.
Salt. Where?
Oh no, not
Allison.
the salt. Oh,
Allison and
no.
Salt.
is
I
this?
forgot about this.
Oh dear.
So Mary Sanderson.
Okay.
When you activate Mary, find and play a hero to Mary Sanderson's location. So you get to choose any hero, whether they are on the realm,
Right.
on the discard pile, on the fate deck. You choose any hero
Right.
and play it to her location.
Just like Evil Queen, choose an ingredient and
Yeah.
put it
Yeah.
into your hand. Yeah.
And when we choose, we reveal the card to everyone. I feel like that's been reestablished lately.
Yeah, because it doesn't say look at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's another
But
problem,
oh.
but let's talk first about this. So if you find and play,
Well, I mean,
Allison-
it says to play it, so everybody's gonna see what you found anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you play Allison. When played, find Salt and attach it to a hero. Okay, I find the Salt. When I first started playing with the Sandersons, I thought I was playing with her and there was a Salt already in the discard pile, and another Salt was in the Fate deck. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna choose the one from the Fate deck. so it doesn't come up later, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I attach it to, for example, Danny Denison.
That's the right choice, I think. I
Yeah.
think that's just the right choice.
But I found out, someone told me that the rulebook says that you have to first look at the realm, look for the card you're finding on the realm, then the discard pile, then the deck. So, even though...
Mike cited that. Yeah.
The,
Mike
That would be
cited that.
true if there's only one copy of that card,
yeah, that's...
but there's more than one.
There has never been 2 copies of one card that you have to find in this way.
Right.
In Disney Villainous, I believe in Marvel, there are a couple of examples.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if one salt was in discard pile and one on the deck, I have to choose the one on the discard pile.
Right. Well, that part makes sense, but on the other hand, if it says find salt, I'm going to find salt wherever I feel like finding salt. It doesn't say find the salt, or I don't know, because I mean, if you have to start in the realm, then that means you would take a salt that's already in play and replay it before you'd search for a new salt if you wanted to get the second salt and put it out there.
Yes.
Yeah. As
Now, I could see where if you are playing, you just said you were using the example of using Mary as finding the hero. If I was the Sanderson sisters using Mary to find a hero, I chose to play Alison Watts. I don't know why you would, but let's say you do. Then
she's probably the least.
she is not the one to play. If you're going to play any hero, you play Danny.
Yeah, that's actually fair.
Yeah, get rid of her immediately if you're going to play her, or she's very easy to take out the life potion before Max comes out. But
or
whatever.
for Dead Man's Toe.
Yeah, so, but if you were to do that, then yeah, I would find the salt that's easily replaceable rather than finding new salt. Now, if you are a Fator and you play Alison Watts and there's already salt in the realm, that to me says find salt. I'm going to find the other salt and play it on another hero. Or it doesn't say salt can only be played on one hero, so couldn't you technically double up on salt?
Exactly.
Find and play has no relation to items, a mechanic where you have to find and play a specific item in the same year.
I can understand searching the realm and discard pile and all that stuff in that order if there was only one copy and it said you must find this card. But it doesn't say find this salt or the salt. It just says find salt.
Mike and I were in our email exchange when the confusion over family blessing was a big thing. I don't know how much that's been discussed before I got.
Oh yes, that was our
A lot?
opening topic.
I figured. I was so excited to come in here raring about everything.
Yeah.
When I was eating a burger instead. But he cited many times, if a card instructs you to find a specific card, follow the card's instruction on where to find it. If no instruction exists, search for the card in this order, in play, in a discard pile, then in the appropriate deck. So, like, in my mind, it makes the most sense to apply that to salt as well. Okay, I'm finding a salt in the realm. But I also see your point of view where it's, okay, but there's multiple copies of salt. I know there's salt other places. Why shouldn't I be allowed to go and get it? And then I am sitting here like, well, no, that's not right, but I see why you think it is, and I can't give you a great argument outside of that's what the rules say.
Yeah, I go back to the Evil Queen when the card says choose an ingredient. Well, I can, I choose an ingredient that is not already in my realm and not in my discard pile. I choose an ingredient that is in my deck, and that's where I'm going to go searching.
I like to search, this is gameplay, I like to search for an ingredient in the discard pile first, so that if it gets woodland creatures, I've still got one in my deck I can get to.
Right. Oh, I understand. But I'm just saying, if I choose an ingredient that is in my deck somewhere, even though I have ingredients in my discard pile, I'm going to go for the one in the deck just because I want to maybe shuffle my deck afterwards or something.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
And to that I say, okay, but that's because it's a card type, not a specific card. But then this is still wrapping back around to the same issue, which is the wording is not as clear as it should be.
Right.
So if I'm ever playing with you absent, I'll look the other way. I'll let you get away with that.
Well, we've got to find some kind of ruling on this.
Yeah.
Because that one's kind of vague. Because based on what you've said about what Mike said, he was just talking about any card that would have something like that, not this specific one. So I'd like to hear what he has to say about this specific one.
Yeah, I'm not going to email him again for the risk of being blocked from Ravensburger contact support. But
Oh my!
Oh no! Don't need to risk yourself.
It was getting so intense, and I felt so bad. But I was like, "No, that's not how finding and playing works. What are we doing?"
It wasn't funny reading that email, and him said, in page 10 of the rulebook, you see that this happened. In page 11, you see that this happened. And this rule that I just made up, I'm not gonna look up on the rulebook. So he went step by step on all the clarifications, except for the important part.
Yeah. And again, I think that comes from, hey, I think the big thing is like, you've all taught Villainous to other people, so you know there's always a moment where you're like, oh, I didn't even think about this because Disney Villainous, how you play it is secondhand nature to me.
Right.
So I don't think about all this. And I think a large part of the issue was that Mike has been in this world. He knows what's going on, so it doesn't, cross the mind to make these clarifications. And if you know something like the back of your hand, you're not always going to go and double check. So I don't blame him for misremembering how it worked. I am not happy with how it worked out and how long it took it took me literally citing the rulebook to him for him to notice the contradiction. But I do get it. But man, that was a very frustrating ordeal. But Mike, still, thank you, love you. You're cool. You're neat. I like you.
Mike, if you're watching this, we love you so much.
We missed you.
We still want to have you on an episode sometime.
This is
Absolutely.
the board game I've been able to
That'd
get
be
into.
so cool.
I'd love to have you on my show too.
Oh yeah,
So yeah,
man.
that's all the weird stuff in Villainous because of just not having a real format to write the cards. Oh, actually, Winifred Sanderson. When you activate her, the cost to play an effect is reduced by 1 power. It just affects the next effect you play. Not all of them. Just the next one in that turn.
Right.
But the card doesn't
Because
say
it does
so.
say an effect, singular effect. So that one's a little easier.
When the discussion was first happening, I was about to come in with my actually facts and logic saying that Maleficent's staff has the exact same wording. And then I realized that A, Maleficent's staff isn't an activated ability, and B, this is a Prospero Hall versus Ravensburger wording where we're talking about this is not a valid argument.
It also doesn't say that the effect only gets the discount in that turn. So, can I activate her and then play the effect the next turn with a discount? No, you can't, sadly.
No. You can activate her more than once, though.
Yeah.
Okay, can I actually prolong this just a moment longer? Because there is one other card I wanted to talk about, and that is Prince Han's So Desperate for Love, which, for the most part, I think works great. Like, it's intuitive, I understand it, it's based on the only Hans line in the movie that I actually like. But, my issue comes from, if she is not in play, Prince Hans may perform one action not covered by a hero from each adjacent location this turn. When I first read that, I said, oh, this turn. So essentially, So Desperate for Love is played, and if Anna's not in my realm, now at any point during my turn, I can just, perform a couple of actions. But then I asked in the Disney Rulings question channel on the Let's Get Wicked Discord server that you should all join if you want more Disney Villainous. I asked,
Already there.
hey, I was talking to our listeners. Hey, folks.
Hello.
I was asking, okay, so is this similar to something like Dragon Form or Mummy Dust, where I play it, I discard it so that it gets shuffled back into my deck if I have to use Eric's ability? Or do I wait until the very end of my turn to discard it? And I was told, no, this is essentially a double grow giant. If Anna's not in your realm, you immediately perform one available action from each location, or, as many locations as you want, each adjacent location. And, this is nothing but a rant. This is just okay, so I get why that's the case, but the fact that it said this turn means that I'm not happy.
I'm not happy, Bob.
Yeah.
I must bear with it.
Similar to something like Dr. Facilier's Kane or Davy Jones' The Flying Dutchman. I think they have those words, the words.
Yeah, we talked about the Flying Dutchman too earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, Davy Jones, this is another thing. Davy Jones locations. This is not about wording. This is about nothing, but we couldn't have had... Here you go. Davy Jones quarters, the deck of the Black Pearl, the HMS Endeavor, the Shoals of Shipwreck Island. You don't want the Black Pearl? Throw in the Coast of Isla Cruces. Why is it all parts of the Flying Dutchman? Okay, I'm done. That's it.
Okay. And then you get a card, the item that says the Flying Dutchman.
Yes.
So you can play the Flying Dutchman at the Flying Dutchman.
Yes, that's the other part of it. I personally like having my boat tucked inside my bedroom on my boat, but
Yes.
that's just me.
And isn't there a location that's called Flying Dutchman?
I don't believe so, because it says that it's the with Davy Jones's board. It's just the captain's quarters, and then the Black Pearl, Hall, and then the Endeavor, and then Ida Cruces.
No, the first location is the Flying Dutchman. I looked it up.
That's insane.
You can also have a crew of the Flying Dutchman on the Flying Dutchman with the Flying Dutchman.
Flying Dutchman.
Yeah. So that's another another small
many.
confusion you can get when you play the Flying Dutchman, because there's also a location called Flying Dutchman. So when a card refers to the Flying Dutchman, which one is it referring to?
There was a debate about whether you could use that as a workaround. I don't even know how much of a earnest debate it was. I think it was more so people having a little fun, and then oh my goodness, is this how it actually works? And but all the same. Also, Pizza, I have never heard your voice before. That was really low. This is a compliment. I just didn't expect it.
Nice. Oh, I want to show you guys something. At some point, they made it so when a card has a printed action symbol, at some point they made the action symbol super small, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think it started because of wedding bells. Because
maybe
that makes the most sense.
It has so much text that I guess they had to shrink it, and they forgot to make it big again.
Resize it. Yeah.
Because that happens on every single card. From Ravensburger.
Yeah. Oh, have we talked about gain a certain action yet?
Yeah, we talk about it.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Good. I don't like.
Yeah, we did. I think.
Carry on. I don't.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all of these small things that add up to being major annoyances.
It's Disney Villainous is a game I deeply adore and respect and am so grateful for. And when it's not polishing itself, it's coming out as okay, I promise this cake is excellent. I know it looks like I am handing you my dog's poop. I'm not. This is a really good cake. I promise. Please just try it. And it makes me sad. But with that said, I am confident that this can be taken forward and, good things can be learned, and future designs will have the editing and clarifications. We'll have it be done better. I don't know how to put it more eloquently than that.
P.S. Make sure that you be careful at your wedding about who serves the wedding cake.
Yeah, no, she'll be in charge.
And make sure that the priest says that you marry your fiancé instead of winning the game.
Be sure to.
But every Disney movie tells me that's a happy ending.
Make sure that you've got your ball gown on in the ballroom. And use those wedding bells.
There's no glass slippers anywhere.
No glass slippers to be seen. And don't replay the robot queen while the mouse queen is in my realm, even though I have to kill Basil now.
Yeah.
That's always been my favorite part of the errata doc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While no one in their right mind would ever do this, it is funny to think about. For such a formal document to just throw that at me, it made me laugh so hard. Thank you, Meta.
Oh yeah, for those who want context, when you play Ratican with the second objective, which is defeat Basil, let's imagine you play the Robot Queen again, then move her all the way over to Buckingham Palace, and someone else plays the Mouse Queen. The Mouse Queen says that you cannot win the game with the Robot Queen at Buckingham Palace. So does that mean that when you defeat Basil, you're locked out of winning the game? Because the Mouse Queen stopped you?
Yeah.
That's just a funny thing to think about. It's never going to happen.
Tournament. We got to do a softlock tournament. See who
and
can
also,
do it first.
y'all know how, I say it's easy. Y'all know it's how possible it is to get Queen of Hearts locked out of winning forever.
One of 4.
Yes.
That was about to happen
4?
on the Battle Royale. It was painful to see.
Was it?
Oh wow!
Ooh, I
yeah,
can't
because
wait to
I
watch
did that. I was playing somebody who was playing Queen of Hearts, and they kept playing card guards. I'm like, nope, move them over, move them over, move them over, move them over. There's Alice.
Move them
Can't never
over.
move again. You're stuck. Sorry. Goodbye.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's Maleficent, Pete, Queen of Hearts, and Shere Khan who can get soft locked, I believe.
Uh-huh. Shere
It's
Khan.
way harder. Shere Khan is
Khan,
easy,
uh-huh.
but
Shere Khan? Oh.
Maleficent, you need to have all the
All the courses at one location, and the move actions
And
blocked,
allies.
and you cannot defeat the hero, something
in
like that.
Merryweather Road. Yeah, and Pete, essentially you just play all your expensive cards and lock yourself out of either power play or win big. I think it was power play.
Well, I mean, but then you could just reshuffle your deck and play them again.
Eventually, but
Yeah. But I'm talking about the Queen of Hearts. Is if you get in that situation, no matter how many times you reshuffle your deck, you ain't winning. You cannot get those. You can't get them out of there. There's no way.
yeah, I know Pete had the same thing.
Pete had
I
a
never
very
remember how
specific
it goes.
one. I don't remember. I think
Queen
it
of Hearts
was...
is the only one that I know for sure. If there are others, I'm not familiar.
Power play is a goal. He has already played enough bandits and items. For example, having 6 bandits in play and 3 items, no heroes in his realm. There are not enough cards with enough cost left to complete the goal. He has no heroes to vanquish with the bandits, so they cannot be discarded. So Pete has to be fated to win. And then Shere Khan, having no power conditions, bravo, and all his discard and power gain is covered up by...
Wait a minute. When you're talking about the bandits, what do they have to do with heroes? They don't have to vanquish any heroes.
For power play. So that's the Pete complete the goal when Pete spends at least 6 power on one turn. So
okay, yeah.
It's either you play your items, which we're assuming they're all out, or you use your bandit's ability. You've got at least 6 of the 7 out.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have to try really hard with Pete.
Yeah.
get soft locked, mind you.
Yeah,
But I have almost
you.
gotten there. And then I noticed.
Right.
Anyway, is that we've said we're wrapping up like 3 times now, I think.
We've wrapped up a lot.
Not that I'm desperate to get off the call or anything, but
No, this is fabulous.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Last thing, if you have something else to talk about, just let's talk about it and wrap this up.
Yeah. No, I think I am exhausted.
That's a net piece.
So
I like Villainous, except for when I get mildly annoyed at it. Beetle Maui should be more intuitive. Is there anything else I have a problem with? Not really. No, the game is rock solid except for when it's not.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm still bent on the witches or allies thing. I have a hard time letting that one go.
That is totally fair. I completely understand that one.
Okay, everyone.
Well,
so I guess that's gonna be it for
Disney
today.
Villainous, your local target.
Thank
Yes,
you everyone
absolutely.
for listening.
Or anywhere your games are sold.
Yes. eBay, for example, if you want despicable plots for some reason. Why is that box entirely out of print? I'm not denying it. What's going on?
Is it still possible to get the worst takes it all?
It's still possible to get the worst takes it all. If I were
Okay, good.
Ravensburger, I would bury that first. I'm not telling them to. Ravensburger.
Please God, no,
do not
because
do
how
that.
else are you going to get Jafar or Queen of Hearts? They're the only way you can get those villains.
No, exactly. But if
Yeah.
it were me, I would bury that one first, not despicable plots. Anyway.
Please don't make Introduction to Evil 2 with Queen of Hearts and Jafar. I don't want changes.
I didn't want the changes originally.
Yeah, me either. I will grudgingly admit I2E Ursula is probably better, but I'm not going to play her unless they officially do a Sykes reskin of it.
So
Otherwise, I'm sticking with my old clunky classic.
thank you guys for joining us on this podcast, and to the listeners, hope you enjoyed this, and please keep playing Villainous because
Yes.
it's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is awesome. Just ingratiate yourself into the community so you can know what's going on. Thanks for hosting and proposing here, Meta.
No?
Yeah, thank you.
Rob?
Yeah.
Okay, so see you guys
Let's
later.
do it again.
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.